Hello YouTube world, my name is Lauren and welcome to my channel. Today I am working on my reading journal entry for The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This book was heavily recommended to me on Bookstagram and BookTube, but unfortunately I was very disappointed by this book. I did not like it, and it took me forever to finish reading, to the point where I had to start skimming the book because I just wanted it to be over. I will say I have noticed this book also has been getting a lot of hate recently as well, so I don't want to criticize it too hard because I know there are a lot of people out there who love it. But if you haven't read this book yet, I would just say to keep your expectations kind of low. So, in summary, this book is about two characters, Aaron Blackford and Catalina Martin, who goes by Lena, and these two work together at a company in New York City. And they get off to a bad start because when Aaron joined the company, Lena gets him this funny mug as a present, and he doesn't react well. Or, well, really, he doesn't react at all, and honestly, that's just his entire personality, like being completely stoic and emotionless. But anyway, she thinks he doesn't like her, and they kind of become enemies at work, but also not really, because they aren't exactly competing for anything or tormenting each other in any way, so to me, they're not really enemies, but I guess for the purposes of this book, they are. But anyway, Lena's sister is getting married in Spain, and her ex is going to be there with his fiance, so of course she lies and says that she has a boyfriend as well, even though in reality she's actually single, and now she needs a date to bring to her sister's wedding. But of course, who else would volunteer to be her date other than her work enemy, Aaron? So they jet off to Spain, and as expected, the ice between them melts. But of course, getting involved with a coworker is never a good idea. And I guess I will just leave it at that. So, a lot of things bothered me about this book. First is just the unbelievably toxic work environment, like between the sexism and racism. It's an HR nightmare. And I get that it's a part of the storyline, but it's just so outright that it's just not believable to me. But I guess that's just a small point. For me, the bigger issue I have with this book is just that I was not convinced at all that Lena and Aaron have any chemistry whatsoever. Like, honestly, I'm just tired of these books where a stoic, socially awkward guy falls for the ditzy, quirky woman when really they have nothing in common and no spark other than probably just the lust that they have for each other in the bedroom. Like, I cannot remember them bonding over a single thing or having any cute moments. Most of their interactions were just cringy and kind of frustrating. And they also don't even get to Spain until like halfway through the book, which for me is when the story actually starts. Everything before them going to Spain for me it was just filler. Like there was this scene in New York City where Lena and Aaron go to this mail auction, which was just another awkward scene, by the way. But I also feel like that scene served no purpose. Like, I think we learned that Aaron had a budding football career and a friend named TJ, but neither of those things come up later in the book or have any impact to the storyline as far as I can remember. And honestly, there wasn't even a joke about American football versus football when they get to Spain, which to me was just a completely missed opportunity. So, like I said, this book was just frustrating because the storyline did have so much potential. I just don't think it was executed well. Like, also how the book hints at this crippling emotional damage that Lena is carrying with her, when to me it was just so obvious what had happened. But the book tries to be vague about it, even though it's pretty detailed at the same time. And so when the big reveal happens towards the end, I just wasn't even surprised because I'd assumed that we all had guessed by that point, like what had happened. So I don't know. This book probably only had one redeeming quality, which is that if you like on page sex, you'll at least be able to enjoy the bedroom scenes. But that's really it for me. So I gave this book overall a 2.5 stars out of 5. And originally I had even rated this book lower, but after thinking about it for a while, I did at least finish the book, so that automatically kind of gives it 2 stars. And the storyline did have potential, so yeah, 2.5 stars is where I landed. And Aaron, as a book boyfriend, for me, only gets 2 stars. Really just because he's supposedly hot and good in bed, but for me, that's his only redeeming qualities. Um, so yeah, in my reading journal, I drew 2 airplane tickets for Aaron and Lena because obviously they travel to Spain, and I have a soccer ball because one of the pivotal moments for Aaron and Lena's relationship is the soccer game that they play. Or sorry, I guess I should call it football because they were in Spain. But yeah, below the ball, I have a fish taco because Aaron and Lena eat a lot of fish tacos together. And to the right, I drew the mug that Lena got Aaron as his welcome gift. It's actually had a cute phrase on it. It said, engineers don't cry, they build bridges and get over it. Now, I'm not an engineer, and I know a lot of engineers would probably argue that not all engineers build bridges, but regardless, I thought that the quote was kind of cute. But it's not even my favorite quote from the book. Um, in the book, Lena's mother tells her something in the beginning. So in chapter 4, she says, every person is different. We all have our own pace to put back together our lives after going through something like that. Some people need more time than others. And it's a pretty straightforward quote, doesn't really need a lot of explaining, but I just thought it was sweet, and it's a good reminder to have when you're going through a tough time. So yeah, some other features of this book is that it is a contemporary romance and features a lot of tropes, some of which I have already mentioned, like enemies to lovers, workplace romance, fake dating, grumpy sunshine, and in my opinion, it's also a pretty slow burn. So yeah, that was The Spanish Love Deception, and honestly, I wouldn't actively recommend this book to anyone. I think there are a lot of better books out there if you're looking for a read that hits any of those tropes that I mentioned. But also, if you want to read this book just to see what the hype is about, like I did, I would say just go in with low expectations. But also, I believe this was Elena's debut novel, so as much as I didn't enjoy this book, I think I will give her next book a try. In fact, I think that book was already released. It's called The American Roommate Experiment, and it's actually a spin-off from The Spanish Love Deception. So anyway, let me know if you agree with my review in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of my reading journal. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that this spread turned out. And if you like it, you can see more of my other reading journal entries before this one on my Instagram page at Lauren_can_, which I will list in the description below. And if you liked this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you could like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my future book reviews. Alright, bye!